At first, we want to start with new information in the shooting that left a 6-year-old dead in Jacksonville. This man on your screen, 21-year-old Artavius Johnson, has been named as a suspect.
Police say he drives a white Hyundai Elantra and is considered armed and dangerous. So if you see him, call police. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Jurnee Taylor.
And I am Hoyt. There's been an outpouring of support for the family of that little boy killed on Sunday night. A vigil led by local religious leaders just getting started right now, and we've got a crew there. We'll bring you more from that a little bit later on this evening.
We want to turn our attention to weather now by bringing in meteorologist Nathan Scott. Nathan, we can see it right here, that rain coming down. You've been tracking potential storms all day.
Jurnee and Rolly, we've seen a moderate rain now take place here in downtown Little Rock, and all the threat of severe weather has pretty much ended in most central Arkansas. There could be still a few gusty storms in East Arkansas and Southeast Arkansas. I think the main concern will be bouts of some downpours. We'll continue that weather impact alert until 10 o'clock this evening. Slow commute, that is the story across central Arkansas. Look at this shield of showers and thunderstorms. Mainly the thunderstorms are just off to our east, but here's the high resolution radar loop, and you can see we've got some heavier rain moving into Pulaski County, but all the red showing up here in Arkansas County, Lincoln County, and over towards Memphis. So there is some moderate rain moving through Little Rock at this time, continuing to build its way off to the north and northeast, and expect a soggy evening across the region. In fact, the Travs across the river have postponed their game for this evening. They're going to have a doubleheader for tomorrow to make up that game. These are some downpours with some lightning and thunder right around Dumas and also Star City. So everybody will have to contend with some wet weather over the next few hours, but things will start to wind down and become lighter in activity going through the overnight hours for tomorrow, starting off the day with some areas of patchy fog, clouds, and even still the chance of spotty showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, especially in West Arkansas and Northeast Arkansas. Lows tonight dropping down into the mid to upper 60s, and tomorrow we'll hang on to lots of clouds in the morning. Maybe a little bit of sunshine for the afternoon, highs upper 70s to lower 80s. The chance of showers and thunderstorms remains in the forecast over the next 7 days. I'll have more on that and another look at future radar coming up.
All right, Nathan, thank you. Well, Secretary of State hopeful Brian Norris is challenging the recount in his race against State Senator Kim Hammer, who won by less than 1,000 votes in March. Norris says a recount in Saline County raises concerns about whether election laws were followed.
And a Pulaski County judge is going to hear this challenge on May 29th after a previous case was tossed out of court. Norris is hopeful the results will be thrown out now. Hammer is set to face Democrat Kelly Gropp and Libertarian Michael Packo come November. Speaking of Libertarians, Bentonville businessman Jeff Wadlin has thrown his name into the race for U.S. Senate in Arkansas. He is running as a Libertarian, though he describes himself as a centrist on his webpage. That site also criticizes incumbent GOP Senator Tom Cotton, though it doesn't mention Democratic challenger Hallie Schaffner.
Meanwhile, Crawford County prosecutor Kevin Holmes has now officially been named as U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Arkansas. President Trump first nominated Holmes in October of last year. That later expired, but was resubmitted at the start of 2026. Holmes thanked the president as well as Senators John Bozeman and Tom Cotton for their support and will serve a 4-year term replacing interim U.S. Attorney Clay Folks.
The effort to keep PBS programming on the air in Arkansas continues, with supporters saying several major foundations have now pledged another $500,000 over 3 years, hoping to pay the membership dues to be a public broadcasting affiliate. Administrators moved to drop PBS earlier this year after congressional funding cuts, but the separate fundraising campaign has since raised more than $1.5 million to spend over the next 3 years.
The future is obviously very bright and exciting, and we're thankful to be a part of it.
Well, Little Rock leaders are talking about the future of the city today with major projects on the books. You may notice all the constructions, and I'm sure you probably don't love it, but officials say it's all a part of their plan to revitalize the city. The board of directors, along with the Little Rock Regional Chamber, has approved millions of dollars in investments to maximize city buildings and public spaces.
It's not just about people coming here to visit. That's a big part of it. It's that plus showing people that they can live here, that they can work here, that they can raise a family here with good income levels as well as quality of life, and the standard cost of living here is significantly lower than the national average.
You were just hearing from Chamber CEO Jay Cheshire, who points to projects like the revitalization of the Oppenheimer Market Hall, the transition of the former AT&T building and the 30 Crossing Park. This is just a few of the developments they hope to complete in the coming years. TV 11's Maya Ellison breaks down what these projects mean for you and how they could shape the city's future, coming up tonight at 10. And over at the airport, officials there are providing an update of their own projects, thanks to more than $7 million in funding that was approved in 2024. Crews are working to install a new geothermal well field underground, something that will cut on-site greenhouse gas emissions by 90% and save about 20% a year on energy. It will also bring 1,700 new parking spaces, including covered spots.
And let's complete our trip around the metro across the river, where an Italian company that makes electric substations is going to team with a German solar power company for their first U.S. manufacturing facility in North Little Rock. CES USA makes the grid equipment, and SMA Solar will partner up with them in a $1 million investment to expand infrastructure.
It's all about building out energy infrastructure, which is essentially what makes everything tick, right? It's about saving money by the most cost-effective energy source, which is solar, and it's about providing additional energy capacity to the US.
The facility also partners with a Conway-based company, Mountain Ridge Energy Service. When it's fully up and running, they'll create 27 new jobs.
Well, the landlord at a local cemetery says he's struggling to keep the grounds clean, raising questions about what can be done and who's responsible. TV
11's Carter Thweet shows us why this has become such a problem and how the community and the city is responding.
Haven of Rest Cemetery off 12th Street is a historic Little Rock location, the final resting place of local civil rights leaders and victims of some of the state's great tragedies. But recently it's faced challenges in living up to that reputation.
Just a plethora of a lot of well-known people.
That's what Percy Webb oversees as proprietor of the Haven of Rest Cemetery. Local leaders like Daisy Gatson Bates and 14 victims of the 1959 Wrightsville fire are buried here alongside many others.
Not only is my grandparents are buried here, but my father is still living, thank God. We have 3 plots here. So my final resting place will probably be here too.
But recently the site has dealt with people staying overnight and not cleaning up after themselves, or dumping trash and leaving it behind.
It's not just homeless people. I've had people that dump household items as well as stuff that would come from a person that has shelter dumped here in trash bags.
The city of Little Rock recently cleaned up some of the waste, but city officials say it's not their responsibility. At cemeteries like Webb's, management is responsible for keeping the cemetery looking nice, which Webb says is difficult, especially with certain types of trash.
I could get a burn permit, but it's just certain things I can't burn that people were dumping in, bringing in their personal items and dumping it here in the cemetery.
Webb fears the problem will continue. For people like Billy Brooks, that's a scary thought.
The people actually coming out and dumping trash or disrespecting the graveyard, that kind of bothers me a little bit, because these people here, I say people, but the people that are buried here really deserve our honor and our respect.
In Little Rock, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
All right, Carter, thank you. Well, a state law passed in 2023 backs this up. It matches what the city of Little Rock told us as well, that management at each individual cemetery is responsible for its upkeep. Cemetery management can face fines or even lose its license if it fails to properly maintain the property.
Over the next 7 days, the sun is going to have a lot of competition with the clouds, and that's going to keep the numbers from getting too out of hand. Most likely upper 70s to lower 80s expected all the way through Memorial Day weekend. Now it's going to be humid, and we will have the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms pretty much each day. I'll break down of when the highest rain chance will be taking place and have that Memorial Day weekend forecast coming up.